Hello everyone, in this clip we're going to have a look at advanced filters. Advanced filters come into their own when you use complex criteria to filter the data and wish to store the snapshot of the result in a separate sheet for printing or reporting purposes. It allows you to select which columns to display and even change the column order, so it's very flexible. In order to create an advanced filter, it's best to open a new worksheet for the extract range, which is the range the filtered data will be copied into, the criteria range, which is the criteria that's going to be used, and obviously then the database or the table that you're using, which is the main table of data. So the first thing you do is open a new sheet. So we pretend this here is a new sheet, and we copy the column headers that we want to use into the criteria range, and we copy the headers that we need to use into what we call the extract range. The criteria range, so let's have a check and see where that is. So I'll do function F5 and select criteria. So this is the criteria range here, and we have picked 4 columns that we're going to use to perform this filter. So the order number currently has nothing in it, so that means all orders, and because they're all orders in both of these, this column didn't even have to be here. But you might have a situation where you might want to put order 1021, etc., and just have a look at all amounts of over 1750 for order 1021. That's why that's there, but at the moment it's everything. So there are 2 sets of criteria here. One is we want dates greater than or equal to the 1st of the 6th and less than or equal to the 30th of the 7th, 21. And we want those to be greater than 1750. So you'll notice here that the order date column is in twice, and that's because there are boundaries based on the order date. So one order date says give me everything greater than the 1st of June, and the other order date gives me everything below or equal to the 30th of July. The same order dates are used for the second set of criteria, and that's for everything under 20. So for that period I want everything over 750 and less than 20. So the criteria is this entire range here. The extract range then are the headers you want from the main table to use for your extract range. The nice thing about advanced criteria is that you can decide what headers to use and where to place them in your extract range. So you don't have to copy all the headers from the main table into this range. So you can just do whatever ones you want. So in this case, we just want the order date, the line ID, the product name, the last name, order quantity, and total. That's what we're interested here. And this filter has already been run, and you can see that has got the results already. So how do we run it then once we've set up this? So obviously when you set up the criteria, you're setting up this range here. If there's an empty row in the criteria, so supposing we decide we don't want any of these here and we leave it empty, that says the criteria is give me everything between these dates and below that. And then this one would say give me everything. So that would result in no criteria being used. So it's important in the criteria range here, which in this case we're just using 2 rows. You can have as many criteria as you like, of course. But the criteria range must have some criteria in every single row. If one row has no criteria, everything will come through. That's one important thing to know about this. For the extract range, if I say now function F5 and take me to the extract range, which I've called extract, you'll notice that the extract range only consists of the header line, no other rows. As the extract range could be any number of rows underneath this, you only select this area for your extract area. And then for the purpose of the advanced filter, we have called the main table database. If I go to database, this is the database, the entire table. So let's go now and run the advanced filter and see what happens. So to run the advanced filter, we go to data and advanced filter. You always run the advanced filter from the sheet containing the extract range. So advanced, this is a slightly tricky box, so you must be careful when you're running it. The first option, the default option, is to filter the list in place. That means that your main database will exhibit the filter. That's not what you want. So we're going to copy it to another location. The list range is database, and then the criteria range we're saying is C3F5 on this sheet, C3F5 on this sheet, which is correct. And the copy to location, because we're copying to another location, is the extract range, which is C12H12. C12 to H12. So if I say OK, that runs the filter. Nothing changes because that's the filter in place. If I want to change the filter now, I can say greater than 1000. Okay, so that will give me everything now in between those dates greater than 1000 or less than 20. And now if I do advanced filter, again, frustratingly, it keeps coming up with this option. So we want to go to copy to another location, database. The criteria range remains the same, the copy to range remains the same, and we'll say OK. And now you can see that there are a lot more records here. And if we revert back to greater than 1500, we can run it again, advanced, again copy, database, and say OK. And now we've got everything. So you can see it's easy enough to use. And if you need this data, you can copy and paste it anywhere. There's no formulas or anything here. It's just numbers. So it's a snapshot of your data. So if you want to, you can copy that report and put it somewhere and then run the next one. So from that point of view, it's quite good. It's a little bit dated, the advanced filter these days. You can get the information in other ways. But from a reporting point of view, where you just want a subset of the columns and you want complex criteria being used, then it's still a very, very useful tool. So I'll practice with that and I'll talk to you next time. All the best. Bye for now.